By Samardzija, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go! You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal!
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, five, rocket touchdown!
Notre Dame is number one!
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that isn't going to be Notre Dame.
Today on the Golden Domers Report, Notre Dame is in need of an offensive coordinator for the third time in just as many seasons. Who is the replacement for Gerad Parker? All that as well as bowl picks and college football playoff picks coming up next. Hello again, everybody. I'm Landen Trailer, joined by Logan Trailer and John Richards. Dylan Kern's out sick today. He wishes you all a very Merry Christmas. Obviously, I'm in the festive spirit. You can call me Clark Griswold. Logan, not really festive because his boy Gerad Parker left to take the Troy Trojans job in Troy. So, Logan, feelings on that? You were worried. You made up a point yesterday. I hope this doesn't hurt recruiting. So go ahead. The floor is yours on Gerad Parker.
Yeah, obviously I'm a fan of him. Like any coach, I think he has, his bright spots and then he has some flaws. But it sucks to have to hire another OC 3 years in a row. But it speaks volume to, Parker's resume and what he's done. In his coaching career, for him to be, up for a head coaching job, says more for itself than anything else, in my opinion. He did a really good job recruiting. I think that's my biggest worry. I mean, this whole staff, Marcus does a really good job of making sure all the coaches are involved, and it's not just him, or it's not just Al Golden or Gerad going alone. You see, these coaches visit these recruits, and you have 3-4 coaches in each picture, which is pretty cool to see. So I don't think it will affect recruiting a ton after just being able to follow some message boards, follow some Twitter. But I do agree with a lot of people out there that are saying that this is the most crucial and important hire Freeman has to make here within his tenure at Notre Dame. So excited for the future. Still, it was kind of, shocking to me. People have been saying it's been floating around. But obviously, I'm not an insider, so I didn't really know until Twitter broke it yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see who we get. There's a lot of names out there that I would like to see. But, as far as, what Marcus should be looking for is, someone who obviously knows the game, someone who has a proven resume, and someone who can recruit at a high level is, someone that I want to see fill that spot. So time will tell, right?
Absolutely. Time will tell indeed. JR, the third season in a row that Notre Dame is going to be in search for an offensive coordinator. Not the best of positions, but if it's going to happen, I would rather it happen right now when it happened.
For sure. Never a good thing to lose the continuity that you hope to retain on your staff. But in an instance like this, where your assistant is taking the next step to become a head coach, whether folks believe that that's a positive or a negative for Notre Dame, I believe it's a positive. And how it plays out onto the football field, that's another question. But I'd much rather lose an assistant coach taking a head football coaching job than having one not retained for no real given reason.
Right, absolutely.
If you know who I'm talking about. So with that said, we spoke a lot on the chat about this problem usually taking care of itself, and it did. This was the easy part of the problem, if you want to call it a problem. The critical part is the selection and the support behind the selection, because Freeman may want somebody who maybe the university doesn't want to pay. So there's a lot of facets to this that play into the next hire. Losing, removing, him taking another job, Parker, whatever the reason is, that's the easy part of the issue, so to speak. He was the elephant in the room moving forward. The critical part is now the hire and the replacement and the support that goes behind it. Because let's be honest, Parker was probably choice D on a list of A, B, and C, and D. And part of the reason he was D is because maybe we couldn't afford A, B, and C. So does Freeman already have his guy? There's been some rumors and speculation that he already does. Does that include the support of the university? I certainly would hope that would have already been vetted and supportive in advance. This is something that didn't happen or take place overnight. Parker obviously was communicating and interviewing and I hope keeping Freeman in the loop on all of this. So again, the critical part is the replacement. Freeman has shown, some stones, some deeper thoughts on making those kinds of tweaks to the staff. So I'm interested to see how he's going to remedy this.
Absolutely. And, JR and Logan, a few names that are going around. We talked about making a home run hire a few weeks ago with Indiana and how they need to make a home run hire. I think Notre Dame needs to make a home run hire here. I really don't want to have an inside guy. I want to go out and I want to get a guy. And here's the guys I would like to see. You see Kirby Moore, Missouri's offensive coordinator. Mike Denbrock, LSU's offensive coordinator. You see Charlie Weiss Jr. I would love to see Charlie Weiss Jr. back at Notre Dame. And lastly, the wild card candidate for me is Jimbo Fisher. I would love to see Jimbo Fisher as the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. I truly would. I really, really would, JR.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the odds are we already have our offensive coordinator, and he's going to be taking duties over in the Sun Bowl. I think Gino is going to be our offensive coordinator, probably. Those are my thoughts.
Ooh, that's an interesting take. I guess that
I'm not going to bring in Jimbo. He's not going to bring in a guy from Kelly's staff. He either already has somebody picked or the guy is already in place.
I could see that. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Just promote within again.
Again, it's the same frickin' pattern yet again and again and again and again.
I don't think Freeman would do it again, I believe. And here's why I say that. Charlie Weiss Jr. might be, a name out there that they could look into, has that Notre Dame connection, obviously. Denbrock with the Notre Dame connection. I think with the, Denbrock's relationship with Freeman, they've coached together. Mike Brown has coached with Denbrock. And
you have to think that Freeman was at least aware of this possibility when he hired the guy from Wisconsin.
Right.
Maybe that's an additional duty that has been added into his scope of employment. I don't know, but don't be surprised if the man is already on staff.
God, I would not like that because none of them have been an OC before.
But I'm not telling you I like it one way or another either. But you have to think that maybe he already has the guy. Maybe the guy's already here. Gino was probably starting to take over more duties as it was if he was already interviewing in this process. He's been named as the offensive coordinator for the Sun Bowl. I wouldn't expect somebody to be named before the Sun Bowl. So it could be trial by error. Let's see how this works. How does Angeli play into this? How does Leonard play into this? There's all kinds of things. So just because we fired somebody yesterday, I wouldn't think that by Friday we're going to have an offensive coordinator named. Maybe we will, but
God, I don't want
a lot of moving pieces right now. So, that might be a possibility, you guys. I mean, Gino's definitely involved in the offensive game plan. He's on the field. He's the quarterback coach.
which I don't even think he's that great at either. That's what worries me. I have my restrictions about him. Obviously, we have a small sample size,
Well,
but
again, maybe he moves to the booth and a new quarterback coach comes in. Who knows? There's all kinds of things that play into a decision like this. That's why I'm saying him leaving that's the easy part. The hard part is Freeman identifying, selecting, and then the university having support behind him financially. And if you hire from within, what's that tell you?
university wasn't giving you any money.
No, probably not. You already have your money.
Right.
New athletic director, new president of the university.
Sorry, lady.
New athletic director. Good points, Landen.
Yeah,
all
do you
very
think
good
they make
points.
the same mistake again with how public?
Listen, it might not be his mistake to make. It might be his to face and his to own. But he's got to be. He might be shackled.
I'm saying, do you think the university makes the same mistake? Because obviously, the whole hire with Parker.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they've done it over and over and over and over and over, whether it's on offense or defense or the head coach.
I think
look at the head coach.
I
the
think
head coach is never the Notre Dame head coach is never paid more than the president. That will never ever happen in the history of the university. So forget about it.
I think with the new administration, I think they are going to make a hire from outside. I think they are going to support their football program. I think the new athletic supports him 100%.
Has there been any breaking news? Anybody got an eye on Twitter to see, or X? X.
I haven't seen
if there's any names, or like you haven't heard of anybody coming in being interviewed, or?
Correct. I haven't heard and I haven't read anything on the message boards on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Brian Driscoll, Pete Sampson. I haven't heard anything from them. Angelo DiCarlo.
Nothing from Thamel.
But are they still recruiting with signing day, and what signing day's Thursday? Are they still out recruiting?
I mean, I haven't heard anything that they came home, that they came to South Bend.
Let me speak to recruiting. That is always a critical factor in all of this. But again, Notre Dame should sell itself. Really.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The relationships between coach and player is an important one. But if you want to come, if you're coming to Notre Dame, you need to come for the right reasons. But the portal, that transforms all of that. Like, look at who we're taking in now. We got a guy coming in from, where's the kid from? FIU? FAU?
Yeah, FIU, Florida International.
I mean, how do credits transfer? How do players come and go? I mean, we got two quarterbacks that used to be on our team that are now students again, but not playing football. So it's a crazy world out there, but don't overreact and be quick to hire somebody just to hire somebody. It's got to be the right guy.
Right. Especially with year 3 of the Freeman era. I hate to say it because, we're about to go 9-4 or 10-3. His expectations are higher than ever next year with a 12-team playoff. I hate to say it, a cupcake schedule. His hire needs to be one that is going to get him through next season, because if his team does not perform next year, I do not see Marcus Freeman as head coach in 2025.
Well, think of it like this too. Do you think they would move forward with Angeli knowing that this would take place? Like, don't you think that in the spirit of, good faith, they would have let Angeli know prior to the portal opening that maybe a new offensive coordinator was coming in that maybe he didn't agree with, that was already aligned with Leonard? The fact that they have named him and he's going to take every snap unless it's a blowout, that leads you to believe that Angeli is staying. Mm-hmm. Another positive mark for Gino.
He could just be playing the bowl game, because if he says he's, obviously transferring, he can't play in the bowl game. So I think he might be waiting until after the bowl game to hit the transfer portal. I really don't see him sitting the bench. He's, yeah, he's
but do you think? Yeah, I know, but think about this. Would you allow him to do that, or would you just say, "Hey, this is the way we're going forward. You might want to hit the portal right away. We're just going to play Minchie because he's probably going to be here."
No, I think he's the best we got right now. There's a reason why Angeli's starting instead of Minchie.
right. Absolutely, I like Angeli. I really do. I like Steve.
I mean, I think he's not as good as Ian Book, but similar, like just game manager type.
Okay. So you're comfortable with Angeli playing in a bowl game, maybe knowing that he's out the door as soon as the bowl game's over?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm taking that opportunity to develop a guy that I know is going to be there. I'm not gonna let some guy window shop himself in a bowl game. That's why I think there's probably been some communication about this all along the way between the parties that are involved.
But what you have to realize is
and if there hasn't, you might see Angeli say, "I'm out."
Right. I think one of them's going to leave no matter what. When Carr gets there, Deuce gets there. You won't see.
Carr's already there.
Yeah, you won't see when Deuce comes. You won't see CJ, Deuce, Minchie, and Steve all in the same room. One out of the first is going to leave.
And JR, you made a point about window shopping in a bowl game. That's the age of college football that we're in, unfortunately. You know, I don't like it, but
but Freeman has already said. But Freeman has already said there's no more announcements coming. This is it moving forward. So he's not gonna listen. As a head coach, you're going to invest in the guys that you have.
Okay, but Marcus,
you think okay, yeah, with a coach that's different. With a coaching staff that's different. With a guy that you know is going to be on your field, I don't think I'd be shocked to see anybody like Angeli leave after the bowl game.
See, you know, Marcus Freeman did say that, but he also said a few weeks ago, he wants to have he expects everybody to be back on staff. And obviously Stuckey gets fired and we have a bunch of coaching changes coming. So I really don't, no, that's not.
Yeah, but you also can't air dirty laundry, and you can't throw another guy who's in contention for a job out to the wind. You have to protect that. So he's not going to tell us everything at a press conference, but behind the scenes, there has to be some communication and some planning as to who's coming and going, and who you're going to develop, and who you're going to choose to play and not play.
I think this came as a surprise.
I don't think so. But I don't think that with how the
it didn't come as a surprise. If he didn't know about it, he would have just cut him loose when he cut Stuckey loose.
Right.
But he's not very good.
If he thought he was part of.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's your opinion.
Yeah.
That's not Freeman's opinion.
He is not very good, to be honest with you. I really don't know what Troy sees in him. Logan's giving me that look. 17 points per game against the big teams that matter. Good. You could score. Your offense could score 56
40
points.
all year. Top 10 offense.
Tennessee State.
2 first-team consensus All-Americans. First time that's happened at Notre Dame since 1981 or 91.
Our best win was Navy.
No, it wasn't. But
what was our best win, Logan?
USC. I mean, how do you say Navy was our best win?
The USC sucks this year. They have no defense. They have no coaching. They're terrible. The USC was a terrible football team.
So you're telling me USC is the worst team we played?
No, Tennessee State is the worst.
That's our best win. Get out of here.
That's why this is a Freeman. That's why this is a Freeman issue.
Don't tell me to get out of here. Don't tell me to get out of here on my own show. No. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. First of all,
get out of here with that. The stats don't lie. Look it up. Use Google.
Okay. What did he score? Okay. Let me talk. What did he score against Ohio State? What did he score against Clemson? What did he score? What did he score against Clemson? What did he score against Louisville? What did he score against Ohio State? His offense sucked in the big games that matter. That's why we're 9-3.
They sucked. He went down and gave our defense a chance to get a stop to win the game.
That's golden, bud. That's Al Golden. I'm talking about Gerad Parker. I'm talking about Gerad Parker.
Andrew watched the game.
I did watch the game.
Went on a 75-yard drive, put us up. We couldn't catch it at pick. We were in prevent on 3rd and 19.
We had 10 points the entire. Sorry,
We had
7 points.
Players on the field defensively.
7 points against Ohio State in the
Twice.
fourth quarter. 7 points.
Look, he's gone. The point is he's gone.
He's not very good.
Well, he was good enough to be named the head coach at Troy, who just won the SWAC, or whatever
Nobody
conference they're in.
Right.
But so
Nobody
and
left
he
again.
let's be honest, he developed some pretty good tight ends.
Right.
We produced some pretty good numbers out of the running back, and he is coming from Notre Dame. That's a nice mark to have. If you're coaching, if you're at Troy, you're getting a guy who's at Notre Dame. I'll take that.
I think it's a good look when your assistants get head coaching jobs at a D1 school.
It's a good look.
Listen, we
Unfortunately, I
should
don't
be
think
way
he's
more
successful.
critical. We should be way more critical of the guy who was not retained than the guy who was hired as the head coach of a team playing in a bowl and just won their conference.
We're not talking about
So maybe your emotion should be directed a little differently, because I think Freeman thought Parker was more the solution and not the problem than Stuckey. So, I'm not saying that Parker was the guy either, Landen, but it's also the Golden Domers report, and I'm going to support one of our guys, and he did the best he could, and he was put in a tough position, and won us 9 games, and good job. Congratulations on being named the Troy head coach.
I like to win.
By Samardzija, inside the 20, inside the 10. He's going in. Notre Dame has scored.
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, 5-5 rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number 1.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first.